Michigan after midnight. Michigan looks peaceful during the day. Endless forests, quiet small towns, old brick buildings with stories buried in their walls, the Great Lakes stretching out like silver mirrors. But when the sun drops and the lake winds get colder, this state feels different. Because Michigan is old, older than most people realize. It carries shipwrecks beneath its waters, abandoned hospitals hidden in small towns, Victorian mansions where grief never left, theaters where applause stopped, but something else stayed. Tonight, we're traveling across the state, from Detroit to Mackinac Island, from abandoned asylums to historic inns, 10 of the most haunted places in Michigan. And by the end, you might not look at this state the same way again. The historic Doherty Hotel, Clare. Doherty Hotel, built in 1924, this hotel looks charming. Brick exterior, vintage rooms, a quiet Midwestern stop, but guests say room 324 isn't quiet. People report faucets turning on, doors unlocking, footsteps pacing the hallway at 3 a.m. Staff claim a former employee who died in the building never checked out. Guests have felt someone sit at the edge of the bed. No one there. The air in certain hallways feels colder than it should. And what makes it worse? The hotel doesn't deny it. They lean into it, because the activity is consistent. The Whitney, Detroit. The Whitney. This 1894 mansion in Detroit is stunning. Carved wood, grand staircases, massive chandeliers. But it was built by lumber baron David Whitney Jr. And after his wife died, staff say he changed. Visitors report a woman in white on the staircase, a man standing near the third-floor bar, elevator buttons pressing themselves. One woman claimed she felt her hair gently pulled during dinner. No one behind her. Staff say the energy shifts after closing, like the house exhales and remembers. Eloise Asylum, Westland. Eloise Asylum, originally a poorhouse in the 1800s, later a psychiatric hospital, at its peak over 10,000 patients. The conditions were overcrowded, underfunded, sometimes cruel. Former nurses described screams echoing through halls at night. Today, investigators claim shadow figures moving between rooms, disembodied crying, equipment malfunctioning. Some visitors report being touched. Others say they hear their name whispered. The most disturbing part, many former patients were buried in unmarked graves nearby. Forgotten. Except maybe not. The Edmund Fitzgerald Waters, Lake Superior. In 1975, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior. All 29 crew members lost. Locals say Lake Superior never gives back what it takes. Fishermen report seeing phantom lights over the water. A freighter shape in heavy fog, then gone. Some claim to hear distant ship bells on calm nights. No other vessel nearby. The lake feels endless, and Michigan's waters hold thousands of shipwrecks. Beneath the surface, history sleeps. The Grand Hotel, Mackinac Island. Grand Hotel, elegant, historic, timeless. But guests in room 217 report children laughing, a woman in period clothing, the scent of old perfume. A construction worker reportedly died building the hotel. Staff say he still checks in. Some guests wake up feeling watched. On Mackinac Island, there are no cars, just horses. At night, it's quiet, too quiet. Michigan Theater, Jackson. Michigan Theater, built in 1930. Lavish ceilings, old velvet seats. Workers report hearing applause when the building is empty. A figure sitting alone in the balcony. Cold drafts moving through sealed doors. Theater staff say lights flicker during renovations. Like someone doesn't want changes made. The stage may be empty, but something still enjoys the show. Castle Museum, Saginaw. Castle Museum of Saginaw County history, built like a medieval fortress in 1898. Former post office. Employees report heavy footsteps upstairs, doors locking on their own, a tall shadow near the tower. Security footage once captured movement in an empty room. No explanation given publicly, just silence. Old Presque Isle Lighthouse, Erie. Lighthouses are lonely places. Built in 1840, isolated on Lake Huron. Visitors report seeing a figure at the top window, hearing boots on metal stairs when no one else is there. Lake winds howl at night, and the tower creaks like it's breathing. Henderson Castle, Kalamazoo. Henderson Castle, a Victorian mansion turned in. Guests report a woman in white walking halls, doors opening, jewelry missing then reappearing. The energy here feels personal, like someone still claims the property, not malicious, but possessive. The Old City Hall, Detroit. Old Detroit City Hall, built in 1871, demolished in 1961. But before demolition, workers reported footsteps in empty offices, voices echoing in stairwells. Even after it was torn down, construction crews reported strange activity on site, as if history doesn't leave easily, even when the building does. Michigan never really sleeps. Michigan looks calm, forests, lakes, small towns, but beneath the surface there are stories, buildings that feel heavy, water that feels deep, rooms that feel watched. Maybe hauntings aren't about ghosts. Maybe they're about memory, energy that refuses to fade. So if you ever visit Michigan and something feels off, it might not be your imagination. It might be history still standing behind you.